Welcome back to another installment of Fishy Film Fridays. This is the start of season 2 of Fishy Film Fridays. We're sorry for the long hiatus. We were busy going on bachelor parties and engaging to women and
Stocks.
moving to hellholes. But we're back and we're going to be grinding them out. We want to thank our new fans who are sending lengthy comments to us. We love you. Keep it up. We like the critique. We're always striving
We
to be
learned
better.
a lot. I learned
Yeah,
a lot.
we learned a lot. So please keep them coming.
Yeah.
So let's check in with our my illustrious co-hosts. Let's start with Tim Apple, the man who went on a bachelor party. How you doing, Tim
Good,
Apple?
I'm good. Yeah, I feel great.
That was an anti-dox measure.
I'm
Did you
glad
see
to,
those?
oh, I see. I'm
Yes.
glad to be back. Listen, excited to be cutting it up with you two flounders once again. You know, what can I say? I'm excited because I love George. I'm excited to discuss the Cloon.
The true
Love
Danny
George.
Ocean.
The true Danny Ocean. And J Red, how you doing? Tapping in. Man who's
Good.
engaged. Wedding preparations underway.
Wedding prep is going well. You know, enjoying these last few months of independence before I can move in with my beautiful bride here to be in a couple months.
It's not
Haven't you been living with her for like years?
No.
Against God's wishes, by the
You
way.
got it. Nope. You know, but that was,
Living in sin.
you know, sometimes we got.
I'm bringing this up to the priest, actually.
We have to house the poor, and that was part of it. So I had it was a real conflict of my morals there to try to figure out how to best please God and his teachings. Yeah, I did have another thing too. Oh, we also have something all three in common right now. All three of us, for the first time ever, are recording from
south of the Mason-Dixon line.
South of the Mason-Dixon, all slave states.
We are now a Southern podcast. We're sort of like
we're honestly, it's our mission. We're setting up missionaries to help spread the word of the church.
The fish.
We're no longer coastal elites. We are now grassroots Southerners.
We are the podcasters the Democrats are looking for to combat Joe Rogan.
Yes. We are liberal Joe Rogan. We are Theo Vaughn. You know, we have Southern hospitality. You have now entered, the Waffle House.
And starting with that, we got the best person to ever encompass this part of America, the liberal sweetheart, George Clooney.
George Clooney. Is he a liberal sweetheart?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude, he was like the one who basically led the coup d'etat against Joe Biden last summer.
Yeah, somebody saw the Hunter Biden interview.
Yes.
Well, shout out George. I'm a big George guy.
So
yes, as J Red has alluded to this week we will be discussing the American 2010 film by Anton Corbijn. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and it stars George Clooney. Anyone seen this movie before?
Parts of it on an airplane years ago, and I fell asleep during that viewing of it as well.
I don't think I'd seen this. Probably a little bits on the telly, but never really stayed for long.
I also was getting this confused with Michael Clayton because it is very, very similar, I feel like, in how he acts in this one.
For sure.
Interesting. I've seen this movie a number of times.
Really?
First time I saw it, I was with my parents, I believe, which was a little bit uncomfortable at times.
Oh, yeah. This is a hot movie.
It is.
Yeah, it's a hot movie.
I like that part.
And then it really stuck with me, and then I rewatched it during the pandemic, like maybe 2020, and I was like, damn, that kind of held up. And then I rewatched it yesterday. So it's one of my favorites. My card's on the table.
Really?
I don't know if I would never say it's like the best movie of all time, but I really like this movie. Like top 10 for me, possibly.
You enjoy this more than the Ocean's franchise?
You just I think about this movie more than I think about the Ocean's franchise. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to dig into that.
Yeah, let's do it. So we start in Sweden, and George is with a sexy brunette, which of course that's a big part of my love of this film. Is there's a lot of sexy brunettes.
Europeans, you like Europeans.
I do also like Europeans. Good point. And
Clooney the
they
only
are.
American in this movie.
Is he the only American in this movie?
Well,
No, the other woman I thought is American,
I thought she was English.
Matilde. But yeah, I guess it's a bit unclear because she like bounces accents.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. Yeah. And then the opening scene, we see George walking in the snow with this sexy brunette. We find out his name is Jack. They're ambushed on their walk in the snow, and we see that Jack is pretty skilled with a gun. He kills a bunch of people, and then he randomly kills the lady as well. What did we think when he killed the lady? We're like, what the fuck?
Well, I was confused. I thought it was like she set it up, but later in the film, when he's starting to have the guilt about it, I realized he did that out of like no witnesses.
Or like that she could have been compromised or something.
Yeah, it was probably a bit of a mix of both. What I was actually really impressed by is his ability with the short, like with that small pistol. Those are hard to aim. But also why that guy who was shooting at them was so close to them with a long range rifle. Kind of a dumb tactic, especially if we're trying to say these are like professional hitmen going after them. Third part I have to this is
This
I'm
is
actually
in
happy for the
Sweden.
gun knowledge because I think that's going to really come in.
yeah, I
handy
got some
later.
commentary. I got some commentary.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
Got a
really,
JROTC kind of.
I'm really looking forward to a long YouTube comment to correct me on
A lot of bullshit. So I'm looking forward to that.
yeah, no, the Swedes part was weird. Like I know a decent number of Swedes, and I'm like, there's a lot of like disbelief I have to suspend here, but like hitmen in Sweden, what are they doing?
Well, we have to think. I mean, at this point, we kind of understand he's like a spy or something or a hitman.
Right.
No, he's like a mercenary, but not. So this is
Well, we don't know
actually-
any of that, Jared.
Yeah.
At this stage, John's right. All we know
Yeah.
is this guy's really fucking good with a gun, and people want to kill him.
Like mission, I
know?
could have been like, "Is this Mission Impossible?" Like,
Yeah, he could have led into that. Okay.
And in many ways, it actually is similar to Mission Impossible because a lot of the Mission Impossible films either begin or end with him being off the grid with a lady, and it's like, oh, I'm finally,
or
I'm finally safe, I'm finally out of it, and then, oh shit,
this was literally a James Bond ripoff at the beginning. Like
yeah,
you could pull off like multiple James Bond movies where the opening is like him in front of a fireplace with one of his love interests and something
Right.
tragic happens. Like this is
right.
very-
Well, I mean, you could say almost all spy movies, and that actually is. I want to talk about the genre a little bit at some point, but
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, it's thematically very much straight down the middle of that genre for sure.
now, what if that's on purpose?
One reason. Go ahead, John.
Wonder if that's on purpose to set up our expectations. Like, this is gonna
well.
be,
Have you seen the poster for this movie?
it's like
No.
George
It is-
running with a gun, right?
It is a very James Bond like poster art like they'd have in the 70s. Or what I was getting very big, if you ever go on like Google Images like Steve McQueen movies, this is a very similar poster in a lot of Steve McQueen movies. So they were definitely pulling at some like member berries and some nostalgia to get people in the theater for this. Of course, drawing like a big name like George Clooney, who was pitched around as potentially being a replacement to James Bond.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Well,
would've
yeah,
been
they
great,
gotta
probably.
market this. They gotta market this like borderline art house film.
Yes.
You're gonna make
Yeah.
it seem like it's some action, like super exciting movie.
Yeah,
Right.
they tricked a lot of viewers like me into watching this.
Well,
Yeah.
also in that first shooting scene, which like in all shooting scenes, in the whole film, really, there's not much of a score, right? There's no dramatic music accompanying it, so you're really just reacting to the pure action.
I did like that part though because the scenery really went well with like the just the
Hey, shut that
left
fucking thing up.
fucking dog.
Yes, John, my next note that I was going to go over was the very sparse non-diegetic sound at the start, which I personally love. And Jared, to your point about the landscape, some of those shots in the snow are incredible as well. So yeah, I liked the Sweden vibe. One other thing from that first scene is that he's wearing that black beanie, that plain black beanie that's folded up at the ends, but it's covering his ears. And when I first watched this movie with my parents, I thought that looked sick. And at the time, I was rocking like a pale blue Penguins beanie all the time. And I was like, no, he looks so fucking sick there, and I've been wearing a plain black beanie rolled up, covering my ears, not like the hipster way, but like the George Clooney in the American way,
Damn.
because of this movie for this long. And so my one of my questions is, what movie has affected your style?
Ooh. Let me
Oh,
think on that for a little bit. Unless you got something to
that's
me.
a good. Oh, that's tough. I think Ratatouille really opened up my palate in ways that I wasn't expecting. I was very against cheese as a youth, but I liked the scene where he eats a great bit of cheese and then he combines it. So I think that affected my dining choices. I don't take much fashion from films really, but that's interesting. With
I think mine might have been Dave Franco and Zach Efron and Neighbors. Because that came out as we were beginning college, so I thought that's how fraternity
Hell
boys dressed. So I got a lot of wardrobe items that were based off that Seth Rogen movie.
Oh,
shit.
that's a great answer, actually. I really respect the honesty there.
Yeah, I also was rocking a fedora when I was in middle school, and I don't know why. I'm pretty sure it was influenced by like a movie.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
that
that
as
was
well.
from your brain, probably.
That was my brain helmet.
The autism, yeah. Cool. Okay, I thought that was gonna hit. You guys loved the question, but not great. I guess maybe it doesn't happen. I mean, John, you're not necessarily a style
Oh
guy.
no, the
Let's be
fedora
honest.
fedora came from The Godfather. I thought I was Michael Corleone.
Ah.
That's what it
Cool.
was. Another Italian type setting movie influence.
Yeah, I can't think of
That's-
anything like stylistically. Like, I mean, I saw Ocean's 11 and I was like, I want to be that cool.
You're so salty that we didn't watch Ocean's 11.
No, I just like, I think of George around this time and I think about Oceans.
Yep. Well, I did explain.
I gotta watch that one again.
All right, advance the plot.
So we got the first scene with the style and the non-diegetic sound and the snow and the gunshots and the exposition, and then we're taken to the title sequence. Which anyone remember what's going on in the title sequence? Because it is kind of notable.
Actually, I remember.
I don't know. I remember.
Very long shot of him driving down a tunnel.
Yes, and it like fades to black.
Oh,
and
it was
then
in Rome.
fades to white.
Well, he's like on the way to Rome. We don't yet know he's in Rome. We just see him driving,
He was leaving Rome.
leaving Sweden.
Did he drive from Sweden to Rome?
Oh no,
Can
he
you
took
do
the
that drive?
ferry.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. No, this is so I skipped. So we see him next. We see him in Rome. Then the title sequence happens.
Right.
So he arrives in Rome. He's shaved and he's cut his hair. He looks much better now than he did in the first scene.
I liked him in the beard though.
Interesting. And then he meets this guy named Pavel at a bar in Rome. And he gives him instructions. He's like, here's a car. You're going to go to this small town in Italy. You're going to lay low and don't make any friends. And then he gets in the car and he drives. And we see the title cards, which is as he drives from Rome. So Jared's right. And it's him in a very long tunnel. And finally, we get soundtrack at this stage.
I really like the shots of Rome, the train station / bus station.
Like every single shot in this movie could be a painting.
They did.
Yeah.
That was very, very nicely. And also like because they did shoot it there, and it wasn't like they took an authentic cafe, like a little shitty outside train station cafe. So I like that.
Yes, it feels like you're in Italy, and I know, Jared, you're a big fan of Italy. You proposed in Italy. Your wedding was with Italy themed. You know, maybe you're
Little
really a
Italy
Jack type character.
in Cleveland.
Oh yeah, Little Italy.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I was thinking. Okay, this is before iPhones.
Correct.
He doesn't have an iPhone. He's making his call on a payphone. He tells him go to this little, this little restaurant, a Pizza La Puccia. He's like a Pizza La Puccia. And he puts on. How would you find that thing? I would never be able to find that little restaurant.
No, he was pretty good about it because he said it was like right across from the train station. He gave him pretty good direction.
I guess so.
And he's a spy. Like he's got a different sort of skill set. Than, yeah.
Basic navigation. He's okay walking around the block a few times to find something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, listen, we're old enough to be alive then. I still don't know how people got around places.
You
I
ask.
don't know.
You talk to people, Tim.
That's scary.
Although he is a very private gentleman, which leads me to my next point, which is that during the title card sequence, we learned that this movie is based on the book A Very Private Gentleman.
Right.
Anyone read spy books?
I used to read some Tom Clancy, which is
Yeah, that's
Kinda
the
spy.
classic.
Yeah.
That's probably why you went into the JROTC.
yep.
You know, the spy genre didn't really interest me too much.
Interesting. Okay. I always liked them. I never read the books, I don't think, but I always liked spy movies for sure. Or like not necessarily spy, but like Hitman or like what are the other adjacent ones?
I like
Detective.
I like the Jack Reacher series, Born Identity.
You like all the American like mercenary for God and country
the A
ones.
Team. I like the A Team.
I'm more like I like a guy who dresses cool and like fucks bitches. You know what I mean?
I don't know. The Bond. I never got into the Bond movies as much.
I'm not like a huge Bond head by any means, but like so there's the famous French film Le Samurai, which maybe John has seen.
Oh,
And this one's very
I've
thematically
seen the
similar to that
Samurai.
one. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Like that's my shit.
Yeah.
So Jack arrives in this place called Castelvecchio, and then he goes to Castel del Monte. Castelvecchio. And then he goes to Castel del Monte, which is like a very old town on the side of a mountain.
Yep, the Abruzzo Mountains.
And we see him with a huge camera with a huge lens on his table, and he's working out in a very empty apartment while wearing dress pants, which is like one of the sickest things imaginable. He's like doing push-ups, wearing dress pants.
Yeah, I like his pull-ups. He does a lot of pull-ups.
Yeah. Really sick shots of a dude being himself in like an empty apartment, which I'm really
I think that's
relating
also
to at this
funny
moment.
because like George Clooney's not like known for being in shape, so I wonder like how capable he was of doing that many pull-ups in a row prior to this film. And like,
He looks good in this movie. He looks real good. Like that's a nice body.
He's
I
a
don't need him
Hollywood
too
actor.
big.
Like, yeah, he can get in shape if he wants to.
Yeah, I mean,
dude,
it's like the whole
pull-up,
point of
getting better at pull-ups is a very hard thing to do, especially in good form like that.
Well, you just gotta do them.
Yeah.
He's also got this butterfly tattoo on his back, which is interesting, and he has another weird one on his arm.
Yeah, and early in the film, I'm like, I wonder if that's his. And the film just was like, we're not going to explain this, but then obviously becomes a major plot point.
But I do wonder if it's his. I don't know.
Can't be.
Nah.
He's got style.
Maybe he's
He's
tattoo-less.
not like
No,
Ben Affleck.
No, George Clooney does not have style. He is a soap opera actor that just got slightly famous over time and kept himself relevant.
Watch your mouth.
Those oceans.
Yeah, that's kind of out of
That's
pocket.
heresy. Clooney
He's
is
like
a
one of our
man-
greatest.
Clooney's a man with charm and poise. Did you see the Nespresso ads? Have you seen his Nespresso commercials?
Oh my
I
god.
have not actually.
I wonder if we got the taste for espresso.
But I do
wanna
think
go
he's
to
like one of
film
our.
fest.
He's one of the last remaining Hollywood stars who's like that old school style
I'd
star.
love to talk about that.
Okay, go for it.
Well, all right, throughout film history, right, there's been stars. We think of the early silent film eras, like always on star power. You know, these Hollywood agent or production companies, they'd hire a star to make films up. Whatever. What are the stars today that we can say those are legitimate stars? Clooney's there. Will
De Niro.
Smith, maybe. Hanks.
I would.
Will Smith is not in that category.
Yes, he
Get
is,
the fuck out of
absolutely.
here.
He's an Academy
No.
Award
He's
winner.
got star powers.
Okay, sure.
Denzel,
Yeah, Denzel. I'll give you Denzel.
Leo,
Yeah, Leo.
Julia
De Niro.
Roberts.
Would you count like De Niro still?
He's too. Yeah, sure. I mean, it's like Pacino, De Niro. That's like last generations.
Okay.
But
Pitt.
Brad Pitt,
yeah, Brad Pitt.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, yes.
It's just like this is not a star power film, though. You know?
They rely solely on George Clooney in this film.
Well, absolutely.
No, say what you mean.
This isn't okay. So this isn't a Hollywood film in terms of this isn't a Tom Cruise Mission Impossible. This is
Right.
a star
Right.
fucker. Tom Hanks, plays a mentally challenged man. This is like an independent film.
This was Oscar bait. Come on.
This is not Oscar bait, Jared.
This is BAFTA bait as well.
It's not bad to be. Let John finish his point.
Well, I don't know necessarily what my point is. I think he's like trying to do something, and we can talk about the symbolism obviously as we go through the film. But I've heard of this term called activist, not activist, but activist.
Okay.
And it's when an actor will try to make a film, like a big star will make a film to prove his point societally or politically.
Okay.
It's something that's not gonna be widely accessible. I think that's
Okay.
what this is. He's almost being an activist. Dude.
And what do you think he's being an activist for?
Well, this goes into what I think that whole film's like allegory is.
Oh.
He's
Do you want to wait or you want to send it now?
I mean, I can talk about it. We mentioned
do
the
it.
butterfly. He is the butterfly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Butterfly. The film was called The American. He is the representation of America in this film at this time. So hang with me here.
Yeah, I'm ready.
It's 2010. We're in the new millennium, 10 years in, and we're in wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. It's a fucking disaster. America's fucking up again. We can't change, since Vietnam. Then recession hits. We bail out the banks. We're fucking over everybody who wants to achieve the American dream. And who is George Clooney? He is this almost stone-faced. He's got no personality. I mean, other than, right. I mean, he's just like,
He's a very private gentleman.
Dark and brooding.
Yeah.
He just like his darkness too. That's representing the darkness of the American everyman at this current state in the new millennium. Like every American is just dutifully taking their orders, sending their tax money to go buy weapons of mass destruction, while George Clooney's making weapons for some unnamed entity that you have moral gripes with, but you just do it because this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you've always done.
He's got to get his nut.
What is his? Well, yeah, no, he's got to get his nut. So it's just, Clooney is complacent in this film with being an accessory to murder throughout this whole thing.
Yeah.
I would say the American average Joe has been too.
Yeah.
And he loses that innocence by the end of it. The chance at the American dream. When we see that butterfly fly away, the last scene.
Yeah, totally.
Tim, I really appreciate you trying to fill some airtime here, but
I think that was right.
I'm not buying any of it. This seems like something that Danny would pull out in the classroom to fill 20 minutes of discussion for the class.
You don't see it this way.
I do not see that this film thought that far with the allegory or any of the symbolism that you're trying to pull from this.
Well, that's the beauty of interpretation.
Yeah, it can be your interpretation. So, I really would like to pull your points of let's set up.
Let's maybe get further into the plot.
Yeah,
Get your girlfriend to stop making noise.
I didn't want to bust my nut early, but
you busted your nut so early, and it was such a gross, infected. It's as if you were eating asparagus and cheeseburgers all week. How gross that nut was! You just poured it out.
Well, if that didn't make sense, I'm gonna edit that, and we're gonna make sure it's clear in my argument post.
So, okay. Last week we were talking about the plot. He's arrived in Italy. He's working out. He's got a big camera. He meets a priest. So, 0.1 for Catholicism out of 1,000 points for Catholicism.
Yes, he did get a lot of good points. I like that.
Yeah. The priest befriends him. Jack is struggling with a vending machine of some kind and says, "I'm no good with machines," which is going to be repeated multiple times and is going to be shown to be a lie multiple times. He
Just
tells
like
the priest
the average American, he is dutiful. He gets his job done. He is a mechanic.
Talks to the priest.
Talks to the priest. He says he's an architecture and landscape photographer. That's his cover story, and that's why he has the big camera, which he kind of uses as a surveillance tool, I guess you could say.
Great cover story. I actually love that.
Yeah, and he's walking around with guidebooks and shit.
I don't know if that's a great cover story because then it's let me see your work. And I was thinking, what if they look at his camera? He's got no pictures.
No, I actually was wondering that too. But also, what a great cover story to actually build a hobby while you're out there.
I don't think he's interested in the hobby though.
He's got some interests.
As a fellow
He
professional,
likes butterflies, so it makes
I'm an
sense he has a
amateur
big camera.
photographer. I'm in some competitions, and I actually really enjoyed how he went about this.
Have we ever seen him take a picture in the film?
No, I don't think we do.
No, we don't.
He looks through the lens.
He looks through the lens.
I don't care the shutter.
He calls Pavel, who says he has a job for him, and yeah, that's pretty much that. And the priest also says, "Oh, I know everything. I see everything." So, question for Jared: does your priest know and see everything in your town? Is this an Italy specific thing?
Yeah, I would say in this. Okay, so these small towns, because these parts of Italy, although this was like not typically the South, but in these like more former medieval towns, the church still plays a significant role, even if people aren't attending mass. But like the priest is still seen as like a town like counselor almost.
So he does know and see everything.
Yeah, so he really does.
You have mayors.
Yeah, they have like constables, mayors, all that, but like the priest is seen as like the legacy lasting throughout the ages, because this is the one church this man has probably been the like priest at and will continue to be at till he dies.
Well, he does. Yeah. So then we see him drinking brandy with the priest, which is pretty cool. And the priest says, this is actually one of the best lines of the movie, which maybe it actually lines up with what Tim Apple is proposing. And I think Jared also will like the content of this quote. The priest says, "Of course, you're an American. You think you can escape history. You live for the present." And he says, "I try to, Father." Which is kind of funny because like the priest is saying like, "Oh,
Exhibit
Americans."
A.
The priest is saying like, "Oh, you Americans, like you don't respect the past. You don't respect tradition." And then of course in George's mind, he's thinking, "Well, I have to escape my past because my past has been so fucked. I just had to shoot this girl I loved. I've killed 1,000 people, that sort of thing." So in some ways,
Just
this
like
actually does track with Tim because America, like we do not respect our traditions and probably causes us harm, but also we really need to not respect our traditions because we've done so much fucked up shit.
Right.
So I'm with you there,
We
Tim.
certainly ignore our past.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the hell?
What is this? 2008? What was that?
Who picks that as their alarm tone?
That's my phone.
Biggest sin of the pod. Oh my gosh.
Focus, Screen Boy.
Yeah. What I would, okay, I
Phone
push back
man.
against that. Well, let me put this to the beginning. I've had a very similar conversation with other European colleagues. Danny, I wonder if you have to in your sphere of social interactions, where like I love when like we do get judgment from an occasional European of like we don't like acknowledge the wrongs America has done or like the criminalities, which keep in mind we're less than a 300-year-old country. Whereas like this guy, the priest, lived probably during like fascist Italy, and like Italy and Germany like have very weird ways how they grapple with their past or continuing to acknowledge it. So I don't know. I'm like, frig off, Father, on that.
Oh, so you're just gonna say
The second part to it, I think this was not anything still for the symbolism. I think this was just a way to help like structure the guy's guilt for killing his lover in the first opening scene, rather than anything else.
And the fact that like George's character Jack seems like he's like always trying to run away from something or like hiding something about himself.
They're trying to craft this whole like character arc of like this man's living with regret, and he like has. They even bring it up with like the prostitute later, like, "What is your secret? What is your secret?" And it's trying to create like this moral dilemma, which like I really just don't care about for him as a character.
Yeah, I don't know if they're like worried about like that. It's more so like trying to show who this man is but keeping him still a mystery. So they're trying to show that there's something going on beneath that still water, but they can't because if they do, then he loses all of the air of mystery. That's the entire driver of the film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't give insight necessarily, but you
They
have to
never-
show that there's something happening. You know?
they never give insight into his character though. We really don't know what his motivations are at all.
Yeah.
He's trying to get his nut.
It's a guy
Money-
trying to get his nut.
I think he does want to like be free of his life, which is one of the things that I do want to talk about at some point.
Right. And
but
that's only
yeah.
revealed within maybe the last 5 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, can I bring a point? That his like boss Pavel kept like saying, "You're losing your edge. You're losing your edge. Don't make friends." I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, what is Like, does this man
He's
have
talking to the
history.
priest.
Yeah, he's talking
Yeah,
to the
he's-
priest right away, and he builds these relationships like begrudgingly, kind of.
He
What kind
probably
of
It's almost like he can't but help himself, but like be friends and fail at his job or something.
because he's so desperate for connections.
Yeah. So let's
Or he's
move the
just
plot
lazy.
along a bit.
He's just losing lazy, and the man wants a nut.
Yeah, and he's cool. He's cool as hell. People like him. Let's move the plot along a little bit. We see him at a market elsewhere in Italy. He's buying cheese. He sees this chick. He gives her a fake name, and he receives instructions about his job that he's supposed to do from Pavel, from this woman. And basically, his job is to build a gun. And the descriptions of the gun, I'm not really a gun head, but it seems like she wants a very small gun that's also very quiet, but shoots long range with high accuracy and
Large
with high
caliber.
caliber, exploding bullets, this sort of thing. Jared, gun expert, you want to weigh in on the details of that gun exchange?
Let's
So
talk to the
large
next school shooter, Jared.
small arms. She did specify she wanted 5.56 rounds, which are very accessible. So not really that large the caliber when you break it down. It was interesting. I did like his back and forth of like she wanted it quiet, and I wonder if that was like a test on him, because she's like a silencer, but silencers are near impossible, and like long range type weapons, they're always called suppressors. There's not really a thing called a silencer too much, like on a rifle for the most part. Pretty accurate when he said like it'll cover your muzzle flash, but you're gonna be losing some distance on it, so you got to close in, and then
I regret asking.
Yeah.
Autist radio hour has kicked in.
yeah, and then the other part too was making it compact.
The commenter will love this.
I'm interested on that too, because like every weapon that you can disassemble can be compact in a small like briefcase for the most part. Like, but then he mentioned like a purse, so I don't know. That was kind of. I think they're just kind of using very generic stuff. Like what they were asking for was not that difficult of a weapon. What they're
Okay, interesting.
So
Right,
I
they
thought
were
that- I
just
thought
sort
that
of
was
filling word time with
They
cool
were.
phrases.
and even like the example weapon that they used was like nothing that fantastic or peculiar. I'm like, this did not require like a special mercenary gunsmith to do.
Yeah, okay.
But how cool is George Clooney at this little restaurant cafe? I wish I could feel that.
He's got these sunglasses on. He's got this nice shirt. His fashion throughout this entire movie, he looks great at every single turn.
I hope he got to keep some of that wardrobe. Do you think who thought he was going up to
Got some great layering going on. Like, is it winter in Italy? Like, he looks great.
He
looks
blends
great.
in. He blended in with the community very well with the fashion. I'll give him that.
He's got a great watch on. There's a lot of watch shots. It clearly was sponsored by Omega.
Do you think he was trying to go hit on that Matilda, like originally? And I didn't think she was like a spy or a client.
Oh, initially I was like, oh, there's his nut.
Yeah, the camera kind of lingers on her ass in a certain way when she's like in the market. Yeah. I think they want to do that to us. I think they were trying to make us.
Yeah, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
But
And I think everyone
I wasn't
buys
that
it.
like thrilled, and I wasn't getting that honed up on it as much as they might have thought that was providing it.
Well,
Like,
listen,
Thinking
and
that
we
they could
see
be-
where the relationship progresses. You kind of think that throughout it.
Yep.
They're still gonna bone.
but instead, he finds a hooker.
No, okay. You skipped ahead. Then we see him go home and he falls asleep while reading in bed, which I love that part as well. And he drops the book and it scares him.
You see what he's
And he-
reading?
He's reading about butterflies. Correct?
Isn't he a bit old to be reading a picture book about butterflies?
He like really likes butterflies. Like,
Dude, I don't know. I guess age doesn't matter now. Some people
What?
live with like cinder blocks as TV stands. Some grown men read butterfly picture books. Like, let people be.
yeah, let people be.
No.
And he thinks he's being watched, which is notable as well.
Well, because he saw the guy at the market earlier.
Right. Then he picks up a package with gun making supplies hidden within photography materials, which is kind of sick as well. And he starts to build the gun, and we see that he is in fact good with machines. And now he goes to see a prostitute, and he meets Clara. Thoughts on Clara from this part?
Well, initially I thought this is going to be the one scene with Clara. That's going to be it.
Uh huh.
I thought the prostitute was a one-off, that like the man is just experiencing loneliness, and that's why he went for the working lady. Which I also hear when we talk about how he found cafes in the age of non-iPhones or
How did he
smartphones.
find a prostitute?
How did you? I have like
Yeah.
it. How did people do that back in the day?
Red light, literally the red light.
In this tiny little town?
Yeah, 100% in this tiny little town.
Like
Or you just talk to someone at a bar and you say, "Hey, we're gonna get my dick wet."
That's why I wanted that scene to happen. I wish it happened at like the post office, because like whenever you want to find like nightlife or where crazy stuff is,
You ask,
Post
like-
office.
you ask the taxi driver, but I feel like the post office would have been a good substitute in this.
Prego. The pussy. Where did I get the pussy?
I'm even cheap pussy. Okay, Clara, what do we think about her looks?
I liked
Beautiful.
her.
I like
Yeah,
it.
okay. Really hot chick. Hotter than a lot of Bond chicks, in my opinion. And she's actually Italian. Cool. Then he helps the priest fix his car. That priest's
She has
car
good,
is fire.
good jeans.
She's got good jeans.
Oh,
And once again, he shows that he's good with machines. And then he goes to have dinner with the priest, and I think they're eating the lamb that was in the car.
yeah,
when he
I
fixes the
I
car.
noticed that too. I was hoping it was gonna be a fish scene. It was not, but the lamb made me happy.
Yeah, the lamb is
That
fresh
reminds me
lamb.
of, you ever see that Gordon Ramsay video where he jumps over a pen of baby sheep and he's like, yum, yum, yum. Who am I going to eat first? Yum, yum, yum.
Nope, I haven't seen that.
Who
I
wants
like
to
it.
go in the oven?
That's crazy. That's
It's a
fucked
really
up.
nuts video.
Which the priest probably was sending people to the oven in his younger years, based on his age.
He's a Nazi.
There's a lot of complicity back in the 40s.
Complicity.
Oh, he was
Listen.
Italian, but he was.
Complacency? Complicit?
Complicit.
There is one good line at dinner with the priest. He says to the priest, "I don't think God's very interested in me, Father," which is a pretty sick line. A lot of sick religious shit going on.
As a kid, were you like, me too?
Yeah, I was very excited. This came out right when I was like having my atheist moment. you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, so I
You were
definitely
like
love
the
that
amazing
line.
atheist.
So, do you guys think they were being clever on how they were doing like the spirit and the body, the two like symbols of the priest and the prostitute? I thought that was kind of annoying how they were just so straightforward with that.
Wait, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Like, so many movies will always like have people show like, oh, their struggle with like spirituality, or like they'll always befriend like a religious figure, and that's also I thought was lazy, is like they picked the priest, very very old school Italy. You're going to be friends with the priest who happens to be very conversationally like capable in English, and then you're still like a flawed man because you're like visiting the prostitute and you enjoy the pleasures of the flesh, and but you're like it's showing like he's losing his edge and he's like lacking that discipline. I felt that was lazy.
Interesting.
Isn't like almost everyone in the world struggling with the pleasures of the flesh and simultaneously religious?
Yeah, like that's why I'm like
So
feel
is
like
it
they
a
were being-
is it a bad trope, or is it just a depiction of the fact that 70% of
just
the
like
world's
human
population believes in
suffering.
God and struggles with
so
the
I'm
flesh?
accidentally actually feeding into John's argument that this is symbolizing America a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know if
told you
that's
it
such a
does.
big problem for me.
You're
And I think also they do interesting things
your
to kind of
struggles
skirt.
between being like spiritual or self-disciplined and the pleasures of the flesh. You don't think you struggle with that?
No, he said everyone does.
Oh,
That's what I said.
okay.
I
Um,
thought
But
you
America
called me
does
a
too, I'll tell you that.
America totally does, dude.
and I think they do interesting things to sort of subvert that. For example, the thing with the car mechanic, which we'll get to later.
Oh,
So
that was,
actually,
that was the priest's son, right?
The car mechanic.
yes. Okay, there we go. Fucking spoil. So he goes to see this car mechanic that the priest mentions, who like is apparently linked up to crime. And he gets materials to build the gun from this sketchy car mechanic, who he finds out is friends with the priest. And then I have written down that another pretty lady notices him on the street. I'm not sure if that was Clara or someone else.
Claire.
Okay, that's Clara. So they run into each other on the street. And here's my question for you two. I know we have some experience with honeypots in this chat, but Would you fall for a honeypot if you were a spy?
Then we're explaining to me a honeypot.
Honeypot is when they send the hot lady to you to get information out of you
Oh, I'd falter.
or distract you from your
Well, I would
purpose.
definitely be suspicious.
I
They
think
don't.
If a hot lady came up to you and was like blah blah blah, and you were a spy,
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, this is a scam. If
I
I was
like-
spy,
well,
what
I
if it
have-
was a realistically attractive woman? Like, what if it was like,
now I might fall.
yeah, yeah. If Sydney Sweeney comes up to me, I'm gonna be like, no, fuck you. If it's
I like
some other
feeding,
chick,
I like feeding people misinformation because this happens quite often in like at trade shows and conferences, or even like just traveling for like government stuff. Like you do have this. I don't know if it's true honeypots or it's just like people trying to like get money from you. I like feeding them fake information. I always like create an alias. I feel a little bit like Jack. I wonder if
Did
he
that
did
come
a
back to
little bit.
bite you? You're nervous, like you're gonna
No, you don't-
fall. You're gonna be like, you said you were from Michigan.
Yeah,
Ohio.
you know the interaction with the people might literally just be that like that conference that night, that dinner, or whatever it is.
So what are some things you say to throw them off?
I always like to impress people from like Southeast Asia. They only know Los Angeles and New York City, so I always like give them a bunch of like a BS of like I'm a New Yorker, and then
That's hilarious.
yeah, because no one knows Cleveland. Like they
You wouldn't
if it's
last. You
Cleveland-
wouldn't last a day in New York.
I lasted 48 hours. Danny can attest. Yeah,
you took me to a place with like a $15 breakfast sandwich. So I don't know if you're really
Dude,
the most
I
authentic New
literally
Yorker.
did not want to go to that place. Our options were limited, and you were no help with that.
Well, because you were fucking in Midtown East, which is also the least
Yeah,
New
the
Yorker place
conference
to
was
end
in
up.
fucking Midtown. It was convenient. I said, pick a place. I'll come to you. You doofus.
Anyways, so Jared, you didn't really answer. Would you fall for a honeypot?
I don't think so. I think the honeypot would fall for
feeding
my
fake information.
Yeah, I think I'd actually trick the honeypot and like subvert where they actually what the information needed to go. I'm very good at counterintelligence. I found out throughout my life.
I think you would fall for it. I feel like you would fall for it.
Yeah.
I personally would probably fall for a honeypot. That's probably my greatest weakness. Is a hot lady.
The flesh it gets you.
Yeah, the flesh gets me every time. Then we see him constructing bullets, which is he does some very cool stuff here that shows his intelligence. The church bell rings, and that's when he times up his hammer strikes. That was kind of very cool for me.
Yeah.
He goes
that was
back-
cool.
He goes back to the whorehouse, and Clara's not there, and he's like, "No, I don't want to fuck any of you," so he leaves.
Wait,
Is that
it
what
was
he's
a
making the
brothel?
silencer?
I thought it was like a private residence.
No, that
it's
was
a
the
whorehouse.
whorehouse, Jared.
Oh, shit.
John, there, I think he was making bullets, but I'm not quite sure about that with the hammer.
Hit the bullets
Don't
away.
quote me on that. Don't call me out, long paragraph guy.
He's gone.
Okay. We need to know his name.
I have
Jack's-
suspicions I know them.
Jack still feels like he's being watched. And he gets a letter from someone with a newspaper clipping of the incident in Sweden. So he's starting to get a little sketched out at this point. A little suspicious. And then here's one of my favorite scenes, actually. He meets up with the lady from the market again. What's her name? Matilda.
Matilda.
Yeah.
And he shows her the progress with the gun and the rounds at this like beautiful picturesque scene.
The rivets.
Um,
A place I argue another allegory
uh-huh.
that place is the Garden of Eden, and here is Adam. He was there first, and I'm not sure where the allegory goes after that, but
I hope
take
you
that
eat
for
the
the
apple,
Catholics out there.
but it's like the Snow White apple and it puts you to sleep.
It is a very interesting scene, though, on a number of different levels. The first being like she clearly knows a lot about guns as well.
That
She's
was
a
one of
good
the, this is the
shooter.
more interesting scenes.
Yeah, I really like this scene. She's a good shooter. She's knowledgeable about guns. He's showing her what he's done. What?
That little outfit she's got on.
I was gonna get there. And then there's this highly erotic sequence where they're testing the gun, and she goes out and puts the sunflower thing out
Yes.
in the field to shoot out, and her dress is the perfect amount of
Flow.
you can tell what's there, but you can't tell what's there. You know, it's so perfect.
Dude, I
And
swear
it's
you just like this movie because it's like has some softcore porn aspects to it.
no, no, no. I'll give you a whole rant later. Don't worry. But it is like very erotically charged the scene, and then she has him go out and shoot at her, which is also like very like hunter prey type primal sexual stuff going on. And then at one point, you actually think that there is something going to happen between them because he's pulling out all the picnic supplies. He's got a little meat, he's got a little wine. And
Yeah.
then he starts pouring the wine on the ground as she's like reclining. Like it almost seems like she wants to fuck him. But all he can think about is like, I have to commit to this illusion.
Is
So he
he
like pours
sitting
some
like on
wine
her
out.
side a little bit?
Uh-huh. She's leaning. Yeah.
Wow. Would you go on a picnic with George? I'd be doing that if I was with George.
Yeah, I would too. Especially with the wine and the meats.
And then he dumps out the wine, right? He's like, we gotta
Mm-hmm.
make it seem like we were here. It's like,
And she's like, but why'd you chill it then? And he's like, Italian cops.
yeah, I don't get that.
Because they would be like, why is your
he-
wine not cold?
I think he had motives that he was contemplating getting with her. I think he was also afraid of her the entire time as well, because he's very suspicious of every woman. So I think that also proves later on as we see how the plot turns. I what was I gonna go with on this? I liked how here I was going. Anyone get a little tense when he was like walking down the range preparing to shoot her, like thinking she was actually gonna pull a weapon out on him?
Oh, no, I didn't think that. I did think that he might shoot her. But yeah.
I was also scared. I had like a weird moment here because I walk down gun ranges, like when someone has
Scary.
a rifle and they have like rounds in the chamber,
Not in the
Bullets in the
chamber.
chamber.
they have rounds ready to fire, and because you're adjusting a target or something, so you're like, okay, like
Don't
my
shoot
light-
me. I'm gonna go down this.
Yeah, I had that fear right there. I was like, oh shit, like I was tensed up at that scene.
Interesting. And then as she's like, go ahead, John.
No, you're literally about to say what I'm gonna say.
As she's like getting a little flirty with him and he kind of shuts it down, she says to him, perhaps you don't have a woman in your life, which like obviously hits him pretty hard because he just shot his last woman. And then she immediately after that calls him Mr. Butterfly. And that's because of his interest in butterflies. She doesn't even know about the butterfly tattoo or the butterfly book or whatever.
Well, he mentions that's an endangered butterfly.
Yes, so she knows that he's got butterfly knowledge.
Is he autistic? Is he on the spectrum?
I was getting. Have you seen The Accountant with
Yeah.
Ben Affleck? I was getting
Yeah.
those vibes from this, especially with the wine pouring out scene.
Interesting. I actually haven't seen The Accountant.
He might be autistic. The way he loves tinkering, nonverbal, fascination with butterflies.
Yep, I can see it.
And
I can
also
see
the initial prostitute interaction. Like, are you telling me this guy had no chance of like trying to pull regular like woman? And I get maybe he was just trying to be discreet and he needed to get his nut.
Yeah, I think it's a lot easier if you can't make friends. That's the way you have to get your nut, basically. You don't have to exchange like information or like take them to your apartment, that sort of thing. One notable thing, he's at his usual cafe / bar, and there's a Western playing on the screen, a spaghetti Western. So this is kind of like
They were trying to make this a spaghetti.
A nod.
it's a nod, but it's also like an inversion of the spaghetti Western in some ways. You know, it's like it's not a Western, it's in the spaghetti land, but it's a Western movie. You know, see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The Lone Ranger running from the people getting
Yeah.
after him.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool
But
that they
again,
do that.
an American art form, the Western film. In
Yes.
Italy.
Yes.
Keep it rolling.
He's back with Clara at the whorehouse, and she also calls him Mr. Butterfly at this stage, that's pretty fucking weird. And this is when she's like, "Tell me your secret," blah blah blah, and he gets a little bit rude with her. I would say. You agree?
Prodding.
Yeah, she's prodding. like know your place if that you're a prostitute. Honestly,
Is this when he goes down on her?
yes. Which let's talk about that. Going
Wild
down on a
scene.
prostitute.
Wild scene. That also grossed me out even more later because I was thinking this is such a small town, so maybe she doesn't have many clientele. But then when they're on like an actual date later, he finds out why she has a pistol. She's like, I have work tonight.
Yeah, like yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would never be a detective fall in love with a prostitute. I'll tell you that much.
I
I mean, I would never encounter one, but other than that, you know,
sure.
I would never eat a pussy that's being used like that. I would never be able to be with someone who's like, I have work tonight, and that means they're getting railed. Like, I could never do that.
It's weird because I was scrolling on my phone while I was watching that scene a little bit after, and it was a YouTube short of someone. It was Bonnie Blue on a podcast talking about how the 100th guy in her giant gangbang like ate her out.
Really?
Yes, and that grossed me out, and it made me think of George Clooney.
I can't believe you were watching YouTube shorts while you're watching this movie. Like,
It sucked. That's why this movie was so boring.
this terrible tick.
This was something I would have watched at the dentist's office while I was on like Novocaine getting like a filling. or
If they
something.
showed this at the dentist office, that would be the best dental.
I was about to say, that sounds like a good ass day. The fuck?
Just that scene.
Bro, you're getting
But
all
she's
horned
hamming
up.
it up, right? He says later that I want to be pleasured. You don't have to cut the theatrics.
Yes.
But I think she wasn't faking it.
I don't think she was faking it either. Which is pretty funny.
But that's alpha move.
Yeah, it was a good line. It was a little rude.
Certainly rude, but it shows that he still wants to keep distance, right?
Yep, that's his whole thing.
Nah, dude, you go down. That's what I think he was showing his like love, like his affection for her, because he was like envisioning that life with her, and he was trying to impress her to get that,
Right. That is so
bait.
weird that he said that, but he went down on her. Like what? That's so weird.
It's kind of cool. Keep him guessing, you know?
Yeah, he's playing mind games. Like that's kind of gaslighting.
Doesn't he say something to like the priest where he like, I don't know if this was at the dinner, but he was saying it was like, I live in a place without love or something like that.
Oh. You know, I don't remember that one. Maybe
Without love.
maybe the priest says it to him.
Yeah.
You live in a place without love. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, good call. Then Clara runs into Jack at like some restaurant or something, and she asks him to take her out on a date, which is very
She's got a
interesting.
friend in front of her. I like the way she asks out on a date.
Describe it for us, John.
She walks in with her friends, like, oh, she is just learning English. And she goes, George is happy to see her. You know, he's like, let's sit down. You want to have a tea? He's like, no, let's meet later. And he goes, our usual spot? She goes like, oh, I can't remember. What was our usual spot? He's like, well, it was the whorehouse. Can't be saying that. Great move by her to go to a little restaurant, have a nice date.
Yeah. Really smart move. And do you think her friend knows that she's a whore?
Oh, absolutely. I was getting the White Lotus Italian prostitute vibe.
Oh.
I wonder
like that.
Because I wonder if they saw like, because she talks about how her friend wants to go to America or something. So I wonder if they saw this as like their way out of this tiny little mountain town, which is also a bold move. They took her on a date in this town because like everyone in this town knows this is the prostitute. I'm gonna assume like there's probably less than 1,000 people there.
Right. The town prostitute.
Yeah. I think that might be why they get the service that they get at the restaurant, but we'll get there.
Oh,
yeah.
He definitely was drawing attention because of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we see a newspaper.
Do you think he regretted agreeing to this date? Sorry.
You're good.
I was thinking when she walked away that he was going to be like, oh, I shouldn't have said yes to that. Or maybe I was thinking he's not even going to go because it's just blowing up his spot too much.
Yeah, he's definitely blowing up his spot at this stage, I would say. Like, her running into him on the street is like already way too visible of a thing.
Yeah.
Like maybe he really is losing his touch, honestly.
It's fucked.
We also see a quick newspaper headline about prostitutes being murdered. Jack still is being followed, he thinks. And during one of the following incidents, the stalker and Jack actually get into an altercation. A civilian is killed, and then Jack kills the stalker. And then Jack calls Pavel and says, "They found me again. I had to kill them." And Pavel says, "They found you because you've lost your edge."
Mm.
Remember all of that?
Yeah.
There's a good chase scene. He's on a Vespa. He takes off his shoes and sneaks up behind the
The
guy.
Swedes found him.
Yeah, the Swedes found him.
I also like it how he kind of just left the crime scene, which I also thought I had to suspend some disbelief because like this was a mountain town in Italy where like the mafia is not present. There's shown no indication of mafia. This would actually be a big deal of like
No, it is a big deal. And the priest confronts him about it the next day.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Something happened here last night. You need to fight your demons. Like, you need to come back to God." And Jack says, like, "Yeah, but you're the car mechanic's dad, you fucking freak." Which was pretty sick. No? We didn't like that part?
Yeah, I did because he's showing the hypocrisy of
Yeah.
this Catholic man, this priest.
Yes. Yes. We all
Like,
do
how
our
dare
wrong
you pass
things.
judgments on me when you have this child out of wedlock against the cloth?
But I think the priest lives in pretty public shame of that. Like,
No, he says like I don't know, maybe he does.
I don't think.
No,
the
I don't
priest
think anyone knows.
I don't think the priest ever tries to claim he's all high and mighty. I think the priest like acknowledges his flaws as a man just as much as he wishes Jack would too.
Maybe. Then Jax has dinner with Clara, and they have some rude service going on, that sort of thing, right?
Is it because? Why do you think? Because she's a prostitute, or he's not speaking Italian?
Are we talking about
Probably
the
both.
The picnic? The picnic?
No,
the
at the nice restaurant.
Date.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Why do you think they were rude to him, Jared? Or rude to them both?
I think it was probably she was the prostitute because most of the service he got in the majority of the film he was like fine, because also like Italian hospitality is pretty good to like visitors as well in these small towns. Like they want you to be the friend of everybody, or everyone wants you to be their friend.
And that's
So-
kind of,
John, why do you think they were rude?
well, I do think it's probably because she was a prostitute, but it's an interesting situation where he lives such a private life, and here you can tell she's very public almost. When you're a
She wants to show him off.
you're literally sleeping with the town.
But
Yeah.
maybe her motivation is like, I'm gonna get out of here because I found that the American will take me away and like
Oh, she's showing off a little bit.
yeah, because like all these other girls that she probably grew up with probably just married to, somebody like the car mechanic.
Right, it's like
Or
a Nora. It's kind of like a Nora.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
That'd be a fun one to watch.
Better than this.
Cool. And then he sleeps over at her place. And this is where he like finds a gun in her end table, which we presume is about the fact that there have been prostitutes that have been killed recently. Yeah. Then he sets up the briefcase. We see him set up the briefcase with the gun. He has two briefcases, which is interesting. Did we notice that?
I don't remember that.
Okay, he has two briefcases.
I didn't notice that.
Okay, and then he puts like the fake office supplies on top of the gun. You guys saw
was
that?
cool. I was like, what if you wanted to take a piece of paper? How would that work?
Yeah, like how good was that illusion? Yeah.
Did he
And
buy
then like
that
where do you buy
somewhere?
that stuff? Yeah,
He had it.
I have no idea.
Another point for the autistic angle.
Yeah. Then he takes Clara on a picnic to his secret spot, and she jumps in the stream and hurts herself on a bullet, which is like,
great skinny dipping scene. First off,
That's
yeah,
up there-
she's
this is
hot.
up there with top 5 skinny dipping secrets in a film.
And her bush peeking through the wet underwear.
I like that. Oh yeah, he went down on that. So there was like residue and stuff. I bet.
But that was like a week ago.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but she's still going on dates and like still servicing her clients.
Yeah, but she went in the water.
Maybe she's good about it.
Um,
Maybe she's
She
good
took her
about it.
bath. Yeah, they don't have good water pressure on these showers there, so it's not like
Oh wow.
wow. It is you are not getting a good scrub. It is all
So
wash.
maybe the
rag.
stream was good for that.
Yeah,
I do think like the imagery of her going to his nice place, his secret nice place for a picnic, and hurting herself on a bullet while she's trying to like enjoy the
Yeah.
stream is like pretty. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was to show his guilt. Like, oh my gosh.
A
No,
bullet.
not his guilt. It's to show that like they're never going to be able to be happy together because of his occupation.
Yeah, well, no, but it's referencing back his when he had to kill his other lover.
Right.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Well, and a reference back to that too. When she steps on the bullet, she goes, "Oh, is this from the hunters?" Which is the same thing
Yep.
that the woman said when they saw the footprints.
Hunters. Good call. Good call.
And he's like, "No," and throws it,
Right. Yeah.
trying to be so suspicious.
Yeah. Very autistic lie as well. Yeah. Then they have.
That's nothing. Don't worry about it.
And then at one point, it looks like he's about to shoot her because he thinks that she's going to get a gun out of her bag.
Yes.
Because, like, it seems like she's a little bit suspicious about being there with him, even though, like, she just had him sleep over at his place or her place or whatever. And so he pulls out the gun, and then
Yep.
she's, like, rooting through her purse, and then they fight about the gun that she has. Remember that?
Yeah.
Any comments on that?
Well, she's like, "I'm protecting myself. There's a prostitute murderer out there."
Yeah.
So I'm on her side.
See.
George is being controlling.
It is
Yes.
scary to think how many people go missing, like these like sex workers, not just in Italy, but in the US.
Oh, it did.
That it is usually just like a violent date. I think of like The Sopranos when Ralphie killed the stripper.
Yep.
Yeah. And just kind of that happened.
And
I feel like they're the number one type of people to disappear,
Yeah.
sad.
other than, like, homeless people.
Yeah.
You fucking
Then- At some point, he basically says to Clara, like, okay, this is going to be my last job. And then we're out of here, right?
Yep.
No?
Yeah. He wants a future with her.
So why do we think that the one last job trope in these sorts of movies is so enduring? Like, why is it in every movie? Like, is there a reason for that? And why is it so appealing? Like, why do we like to see that in our spies?
It gives the character aspirational hope, a future, rather than just like, oh, I'll continue being a spy. Also, this was just a lazy way they built a very generic spy in this movie.
It gives tension too. It's like there's something other than just completing the job. Because at the end of a job, there's always another job. So it's like brings finality to it.
Sure.
But it is a weird trope. It's always
It's
The
lazy.
one last job.
For
Or it's
trying to
like
be in a
on-
good film, they did not.
or a cop.
I
will
think
be
it's like retirement. It's the dream of
Yeah.
retirement.
a cop
And
will
so
be like,
all of us can relate to the feeling of being trapped in a loop of doing something you don't want to do and not being sure how to get out. And we all dream of like sunsetting into the night, you know?
Yeah,
That's my view at least.
that's interesting. And then there's always
Um,
there's the cops that are like, "It was my last day on the force. I
Yeah.
gotta get
Yeah.
my pension."
Like Murtaugh.
Like we all want to be free of our employment at the end of the day. We all want to go off and run away with some hot chick.
And in the
And like
America,
just when you think you're going to like your pipes break and you have to work for another year to save your retirement money, or like, you know, like, oh, I have to take care of my sick parent, or like all these things always happen and we're always looped back in, you know?
wow,
Oh, I have to pay for my wedding, so let me sell my house.
yeah.
You know? Okay. He meets up with the gun lady.
Sleepy, right?
It's
And I even just threw a shot at him and he didn't even react.
Don't
He
even
didn't even
care.
react. He meets up with the gun lady and things feel a bit sus, and they're at like this tourist restaurant rest stop type place. And they really nailed the vibe of that room because like Jared, maybe you remember this, but like when we went to Delphi, like they nailed the Mediterranean rest stop with a
Yeah.
random taverna, and like there's two people in it, and there's like the tablecloths, and it's just
Yep.
like, where are we? And there's a gas station, and that's it.
Yeah.
They
I like
nailed
that.
that shit.
I like
This
The
was a great
soccer.
tourism for this region, the Abruzzo Mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Um,
looks sparsely populated. Looks like a lovely place to go.
Could be
looks
a
like a lovely
honeymoon.
place to deal some weapons. Um, the deal goes down, but things feel a bit off, and we do get confirmation that Pavel and the gun lady are trying to kill him because she calls Pavel and is like, "Hey, he's I didn't have the chance to kill him. I'm going to follow him." And
Oh, because that
Pavel's
whole
like,
school
"Do it."
bus of kids got off.
Right. Yeah.
Nice little ex machina there.
Deus Ex Machina.
I think
Ex
she
Machina is
just
just a
didn't want.
movie.
I think she
Oh,
just didn't
yeah.
want to go through with it initially.
Oh yeah, like she still kind of likes him,
She
maybe.
could have done it if she wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we cut to Italy and the procession is going. Another point for Catholicism. This is like the 10th one.
That was a procession for the guy that got killed, right?
No,
No, I think it was the
it's for the
festival.
prostitute or something.
Oh, it was a festival. Yeah, it wasn't a
Oh, it's
funeral
festival.
procession. You're right.
Yeah, it was just a festival type thing. And the gun lady is following Jack. Clara and Jack meet up, and Jack is like holding her. He's like, "Let's get away. Let's run away, please." And they're in the big crowd. Um, and then the gun lady tries to kill Jack, but it backfires and shoots her face off, which is
Yeah.
presumably something that Jack rigged
He
because he was
sabotaged.
suspicious of her the whole time.
Nice.
He never trusted her, that sort of thing. So then he tells Claire to go meet him at the river, but Pavel follows Jack. Jack kills him successfully, but while he's driving to the river, he realizes he's been shot and he collapses as they arrive at the
Tragic.
riverbed. Yeah, so he never gets to finish that one last job. He never gets to be with Clara,
See that little butterfly.
and there's a butterfly, and that's the end.
Thank
God.
It was an interesting ending.
There's an interesting ending.
Yeah, thankfully there was not. They did not try to make this a sequel to this.
Jared,
So-
what did you dislike about the movie?
This was too generic of a spy movie. Like
It's like the exact opposite of a generic spy movie. That's what like you fail to, I think, recognize about this movie. Is that a generic spy movie is the ones that you're thinking of that you can go through without watching the YouTube shorts. And this is the precise opposite, where you're not handed
this
like
movie,
boom, boom, boom,
I
and
wasn't
like
even,
it's
I wasn't
not
even-
soundtrack constantly.
I
It's
didn't need
not just
that.
like
I don't need the
clearly
soundtrack.
you did
I
because
don't need the
that's what you're
booms.
complaining about. It's
I
the
don't need
opposite of generic because like we are not given an insight into him. It's all atmosphere. It's all feel. It's
I
all
don't care
vibes.
anything about the characters. That's what it is. I don't. They're so generic characters.
They're not. That's again what I'm saying is not generic. Generic is when it's like, oh, I'm a like your Bond characters is a generic spy. This is not your generic spy character. He's just not.
His boss is very forgettable. Matilda, the antagonist, is very forgettable. Or even if she is the antagonist, like okay, they try to make this like a unique film because there's so many blurred lines and so many unanswered questions. Cool.
And that's not what makes it a unique film. The thing that makes it a unique film is the artistic style of it.
It was. I would say it was a beautifully shot movie. I loved the landscape shots. I loved how I actually
And the
enjoyed
feeling of
lack
it, the feeling of like, oh, this is what it feels like to be alone in a small town where your only job is to build a gun. And like it captures like the essence of like the slow Italian living in the feeling of the movie.
got that a little. Yeah, sure. You can get the small town feel with it, and you can also show like more of what a realistic like view of maybe what being a spy is. You're actually just sitting there waiting a lot of times, or being a mercenary. But like George Clooney just drove this because it had his name on it. He had no good dialogue, which fine. If you want to make a quiet character, the quiet man, like they called it, like that's fine. But like it was just a snooze fest that relied on landscape shots, and like it was a tourism
It
commercial.
wasn't all landscape shots. I don't know where you're really getting that from. A lot of beautiful shots of him in apartments and in rooms, and I think the reason I picked this movie is in parts to demonstrate that like um and a beautiful film doesn't have to be like the things that you've hated about the beautiful films that I've chosen so far, where you're like, oh, the message or blah blah blah, right? Like you can make a spy movie that is of a high artistic level. And I just wanted to like demonstrate to you that like there is like this middle ground between like lowbrow content and highbrow production.
I think this was driven also by lowbrow production because it relied so much heavily on like sexy women. Like they were trying to go for.
But they're
You
not
are so
portrayed-
anti-sex, it's insane.
They're portrayed. I would say it's like not overtly sexual the way they're portrayed, though.
Dude,
Yeah, it's not like they're fucking really that much. And like the sexiest scene is honestly the gun field scene where she's like, shoot the gun at me.
Dude, if this movie puts me to sleep, like I'm
It's
all for-
because you're retarded. It's not because the movie
No.
is bad.
No, The Conversation was a slow paced movie that like did not put me to sleep. I enjoyed it so much better.
Okay.
Did this movie know what it was?
No, it didn't. It really did not. This movie wanted to be unique, tried getting callbacks to all these old like spy Bond, Steve McQueen type vibes,
Trying to-
and even its like marketing campaign. And it was just an excuse for George Clooney to go spend a summer shooting in Italy. This is how I see
To
it.
visit his house in Lake Como.
Yeah, this was a convenience. This was even more, less of a tour. This was more of a vacation trap than the Mamma Mia production.
That can't be right. Because he did it like you're trying to frame it as like a grown-ups sort of thing, but it's not like grown-ups because it's just George Clooney and all these foreigners.
Yeah, because no one likes George Clooney. That's why.
No.
George Clooney has tons of friends and he gives them all $1 million. So
I think this is honestly one of his best performances, if I'm going to be completely frank. He really like he eats up the role without having to do like
Because he's just
the
doing
things that-
Michael Clayton. This is Michael Clayton.
It's
man.
not. It's literally the opposite of that.
I
This is
don't
the
know,
whole point I'm trying to make.
I sort of agree to a certain extent because he's so expressionless the whole time. Michael Clayton, at least, he has like these bursts of passion. We don't get that at all, except maybe when he finds the girl at the end and says, "Go to the river," right? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel I'm sort of in the mid ground between you two. I think.
It's so self-indulgent.
I think Clooney is carrying the film. He acts well, but it's so reliant on the atmosphere of the coolness that his performance, at least, he doesn't give me anything past that. Like we talked about intentions the whole time. Like he's just not really sure what he stands for until the very end. In my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, so Jared, you did your whole rant. Do you want to? So how do we usually do this, John? You give your rating last because you pick the.
No, I
No.
wanna
Jared
say-
picks.
can we pick
Jared
a
gives
whole-
his rating last because he
I'll
picks
wait,
the next
yeah.
movie.
Can I ask one
Okay.
last thing?
Yeah, discussion questions. Yeah, open them up to the
Well,
floor.
what do we think of what was the butterfly for you guys? What do you guys think the butterfly symbolized?
An endangered species, which
Was he is the butterfly?
Yeah, he's the this movie is trying to claim it that spy movies are endangered species, and this almost put that whole species extinct. How bad this was.
I think for me, typically a butterfly has to do with the metamorphosis that goes on. And I think he is kind of like continuously trying to go through a metamorphosis and never getting there. And what he wants is to have this beautiful life of the butterfly where like you can go wherever you want and it's like you're in beautiful nature and like you have sweet things like sexy ladies, right? Like that sort of thing. but instead he's perpetually trapped in this cocoon. He's isolated. He's not allowed to go wherever he wants, and that sort of thing. And I think the whole movie is the fact that he like is actually never able to get the life that he wants and the love that he wants, even though like he is always trying to get that love that he wants. Like the work just gets in the way every single time. Yeah,
I like that.
that's what I go for.
Well, I'm
I
sticking
really
with
relate to like, I mean, like it hit hard in this rewatch because like, not to get too deep, but like, I just got sent to like a small town, had to leave my girl behind. I'm in a sparse
Raleigh is the Italy of
docks. We have to cut that.
oh
But like, being in an empty apartment and like having to go somewhere because of your job and like you want this different thing that you have. I was hitting hard. It was hitting hard.
yeah. That's tough. I can see how you would see that.
Yeah.
So you saw it in a different lens than when you watched the previous.
Yes, definitely.
Interesting. Well, I still see the butterfly as representing the American dream and the failure of our government in freeing us from the shackles of the past and repeating these ignorant and destructive investments, particularly regarding war. I mean, let's look at this war in Israel. May I?
Well, you can't say that on the Riverside app.
We love Israel. We are pro. We want to keep investing in Israel. But if Mr. Butterfly had a chance, he, as an arms dealer, the last thing he wants to do is keep making these weapons for people. And I think America feels the same way.
Damn right.
That's all I have to fucking say about the butterfly.
Got it.
So would you like me to
So Jared's going to give his rating last. Maybe I'll go first. Does that sound good?
Sure.
Or should I go second?
Go first.
I'll go first. As I said, I love the atmosphere. I love a movie with a guy on his own doing cool shit, looking cool, brooding. I like an empty, slow movie. I like a movie that's very pretty. I like a movie without a lot of soundtrack. Um, George Clooney looks great in this movie. Icon, honestly. It's really a movie that stuck with me a lot, honestly. I think for the reasons I just described. And I do like that it kind of turns the genre on its head. I'm not saying it's the first spy movie to ever do this because, like, obviously, like, Le Samurai exists. And this is, I would say, like a pretty close. I mean, they don't mention it on any reading materials about this movie, but it's like it feels very similar to Le Samurai.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I love that movie, and so I can like I personally love spy movies, even the garbage ones. And so like I could watch shit like this all day. Like it places me in like a different mind space where you're feeling cool when you're walking around because you're like, ooh, like it changes the way you interact with the world. So for all of those reasons, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5.
Wow. 4, good one. I'll go next. I agree with you, Daniel. I like Clooney. I don't think this is his best. Clooney's in my tier 2. If we were to do a pyramid of actors and actresses, he's in the tier 2. He's sort of the Justin Herbert sort of level.
Guy's been reading The Athletic.
Yeah, getting ready for his fantasy draft.
I think, yeah, absolutely. This is a flashback to those, European cinema of the 60s, which, Clooney probably was like, I love that idea. I love it. Drinking his tequila or whatever, sitting back, or mezcal, whatever he's pushing these days. But I'd love to sit and have an espresso with him. I still think Oceans is just such a better outlet for Clooney playing that sort of character versus this brooding and very flat, Daniel, you mentioned that it feels empty, and you like that it's empty. That's not. I think it needs a little more meat.
Okay.
Needs to fill out that cow, and he get a little more beef. But that being said, I enjoyed it, and it made me think, and I really do think there's something there with the allegory of America. I know what you guys have rewatched it with that lens, and I think it says stuff about Obama in it. But I liked it. I liked it enough. I'm giving it a 3.5.
Nice. I'll take it. Wait, one question before we get to J-Red. Who would be your dream cast for this role, Tim?
Oh, Paul Giamatti.
Oh, the G-Man would have done great in this,
Imagine
especially
that.
with like the prostitute interaction.
Oh, could you imagine that scene?
Oh.
It would be
Have we
better.
done a Giamatti yet?
Of course we have.
Yes.
Are you-
Harvey Picar.
Oh my gosh. And
Oh,
Saving
I'm so
Private
dumb.
Ryan.
Same
Oh, I'm so
does-
dumb.
Get roasted in the comments, you buffoon.
Okay, it wasn't a serious answer, but we'll take it. All right, J-Red, your turn.
All right.
I can't. Think,
Um,
I actually think it was perfectly like no one else can do this.
Here's what I wish happened in the film. So I really liked the little twist of the sabotaging of the rifle and having it backfire in the face. And I wish instead of that woman, it would have been Anton Corbijn, the director, because this movie was a serious misfire. Oh my gosh. So I went and I'm like, because I was just confused. I'm like, was this trying to seen as like, this, I'm not saying it's indie film but it was trying to do an artistic lens. Was it marketed that way? Absolutely not. You look at the trailers and everything that were released back in like 2010, they were trying to put this up there as like a form of a Mission Impossible, trying to get off the oceans. And that's an abuse of Clooney, of his previous work, as well as an abuse to the American audience and the international audience. I referenced the poster earlier because I want you guys to take back at that. Like, you see this and you're probably thinking, "Oh, this is going to be a kick-ass film." Okay,
It was a kick-ass film.
I'll accept that. Like, cool, they took a twist and went a different way this way, but I could have had this on in the background watching shorts. There's nothing critical that happened in this plot at all.
That's because, Jared, it's not a plot movie. It's a feeling movie.
I didn't feel
This
shit
is like
either.
the problem you always have with watching movies is you want like to be force-fed something happening that's exciting with characters that you can see clearly what's developing.
going through my
This is your
critique.
problem. Like you are
I'm
so
going-
weak on like
I'm going
do
through
your
my
fucking
critique.
work. Dude, like it's not
This
gonna
is
just like be handed to
sleep-inducing.
you.
Clooney's charisma couldn't do anything on it. I did appreciate the acting. I thought the priest was good. I thought Clooney did an okay job trying to be a quiet person, instead of like a charmer. And the prostitute had a good acting as well. But like to try to draw your audience in, you had to do this very tasteful nudity, by the way. Like that, those are the only things that are like keeping people like watching this towards the end. Like, oh, there might be another
Yeah,
good
people
thing.
like you.
No, half your like big points were like how hot you thought all these people were.
That was not half my big points.
Whatever. This was a disappointment, and I was just for a movie to put me to sleep, and I was putting effort into this is tough. Like,
You were not putting effort into it.
I put an effort. I actually wanted this to be good because I wanted our kickoff for season 2 to be something I enjoyed. So, like, cool. You can feel great that you watch a smart thriller and that you feel great.
It's not smart. That's the whole point of what I'm trying to say.
That you have this blank canvas that you can draw all your type of conclusions or raise some.
No, this is
questions.
exactly what I'm trying to say, Jared, about the lowbrow, highbrow. There's nothing meaningful going on in this movie, but it fucking kicks ass artistically.
Your shot, the cinematography and the way it was shot saves it a lot. I'm giving a point for that. I'm giving a point for very tasteful, nice looking people in it. I'm giving a point for the church involvement. I really did enjoy that. But I'm also going to take off a half point because this absolutely just was when sex was the only thing driving your movie and the sexual tension was the only tension you really felt. Because I also didn't feel any tension about him actually being hunted the whole time. Like his whole reason why he's there is because he's trying to run away and hide from himself. Felt no tension behind it, nothing. So like, if you think that was cool or very artistic how that was driven, go ahead. You can feel that way. But also, you know what? Another half point subtraction from this, because it is just it insults the audience.
Here.
Yeah.
This type of movie and the way it was marketed insults the audience and discourages people from going to watch further cinema. So it gets a 2.
Holy shit.
A 2.
Jared gave Crash a 3. Just
Yeah, he's salty.
No, this was such BAFTA bait too. They were going.
It's not literally. It's not BAFTA bait.
They were going so hard for the
BAFTA bait is when you're like, look at this amputee lesbian hijab who overcame all obstacles to change the world.
This
is not that.
Whatever.
This was Daniel's third 4. He gave a 4 to The Voyeurs and Another Woman. This is Jared's second 2. He gave a 2 to The Voyeurs.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Voyeurs was better than this.
Okay, and now Jared, your turn to close this out and tell us what our next movie will be.
Well, you know what? Since we're gonna, might as well, shoot rifles back into our faces as well. I'm gonna give you guys something better.
Uh-oh.
We're going to go back to a time with a great actor who's bringing a lot of joy to our lives, but has recently been trying to change his acting course involving his family, because family is a big component of this podcast.
Is Adam Sandler or something?
It is an Adam Sandler movie.
How'd you know that?
I don't know.
It is going to be the 2018 The Week Of, starring Adam Sandler and Chris Rock. It might
I don't know this movie.
Might be centered around a wedding.
A wedding, right.
Yes.
Oh.
It should be on Netflix, so hopefully you get to view it for free. But I hope you might feel something a little bit more in it. And, as some of us enter that next stage in our lives, as we undergo the sacrament of marriage here shortly, we're in the near
sacrament of marriage. This fucking guy.
Maybe you'll feel it. So I leave you with that. There were no fish that I saw in The American.
Now, let's think. Were there any fish? Did you eat any fish?
No fish, but a lot of Catholicism.
A lot of Catholicism. Yeah. I guess they weren't near the sea, so I don't know where they would have gotten their fish unless it was brought in. Yeah.
Oh,
but,
true.
yep.
Thanks for joining us. Please write us lengthy comments. We'll see you next time for The Week Of. We missed you. Welcome back for season 2. God bless America. Thank you. Bye.